Welcome back guys to another Clash Royale video, and today I want to show you guys the strategy that I use to get to Arena 6 on my mini account. So as you can see here, we are in Arena 6, we're sitting at 1800 trophies as a level 5, which is pretty good considering everybody that I face is pretty much a level 7 or a level 8. So here is the deck itself guys, it is a HOG Goblin Zap deck. Now in yesterday's video I showed off using this deck to get to Legendary Arena, so today I want to show off that it does work in the lower arenas as well. In fact, like I said, it's pretty good for getting to Arena 6 because I've been beating a ton of level 7s and level 8s with it. Now one of the greatest things with this deck guys is it actually doesn't rely on any epic cards, so you don't have to wait for that super rare chance of getting the epic that you need. You can actually build a deck using only commons and rares, so that's pretty cool. So anyways, let's go ahead and do some replays here. But as you can see, we do have a giant chest, so let's open these chests up here quickly. And I do have 2 replays to show you guys, and then after that I'm going to try to fit in 1 live battle as well. So let's finish up these free chests here. Nothing crazy. We have a silver chest down here. What do we get? Nothing crazy. And then finally we have the giant chest that I've been waiting for. I'm hoping to get a ton of hog riders, but we'll see. So 1400 gold, pretty cool. We got 36 Teslas and 18 rockets. I don't really use any of those cards, so far not so good. And finally we have the arrows. That's pretty cool. I can get the arrows to level 7, even though I use the zap mostly. So let's go ahead guys to those replays I was talking about. So here we are guys with the first replay. We're actually facing a level 8 here as a level 5, and he's actually using the spawner deck. So this is a pretty good example guys as to how powerful this deck can be at this trophy range. So right here at the beginning, he's going to go ahead and drop down a Spear Goblin Hut on the right hand side, and I use that as an opportunity to go in on the left with my Hog Rider. Now he does have the Barbarians in his deck, which are a pretty good counter for the Hog Rider, but he plays it a little bit too late, allowing my Hog Rider to sneak in there. So I'm going to follow it up with a Zap spell, allowing my Hog Rider to get 1 extra hit off. Now one of the reasons guys that I was able to commit so much elixir on that push on the left hand side was because I knew I had the bomb tower in my deck and I could rely on it for the counter push. And that's a really strong portion of this game guys, is knowing your limits and knowing exactly how much elixir you should invest in a push and how much you should be saving to deal with the counter push. And like I said, I knew I had that bomb tower in my hand, so I would have been able to deal with those barbarians coming back. So right there, I used the fireball to damage the Spear Goblin Hut as well as the Barbarian Hut, because when you're dealing with spawner huts, guys, you want to try and prevent them from setting up multiple buildings, whether that's using spells or just keeping the pressure on and preventing them from having enough elixir to put down multiple buildings. And right here, he uses the Minion Horde. I'm going to go ahead and use the Zap spell just to weaken them as well as damage that Barbarian Hut just a little bit. Now he uses the Freeze spell here, and I kind of panicked in this battle here because his troops were fairly high level and I didn't want them doing too much damage to my tower. But I made a huge mistake there guys. I dropped the bomb tower way too far on the right hand side, and he's actually going to be able to punish me for it, as you'll see in just a moment here. He does have the Hog Rider, and because my bomb tower is too far on the right, he will be able to sneak that bomb tower, or the Hog Rider in and do some damage to my tower here. Now, I kind of overcommitted on this defense here guys. I used the goblins as well as the minion horde, and he just used the arrows to take them all out. So that was 7 elixir used to defend there, even though he did spend 7 elixir on his push there. When you're defending, you want to try to the best of your ability and use less elixir on a defense than they have used, just because that way, that's how you set up a counter push using that elixir advantage. So right here, I went in with the Hog Rider, and I kind of predicted that he would use the Barbarians. So as you saw, I threw down the Fireball before the Barbarians were even used, and just as the Fireball was about to land, I actually hit the Barbarians, knocking them back and then allowing me to kill them with the Zap spell. And as you can see, we did a huge amount of damage to that tower with that Hog Rider push. And right here, all we really need is 2 more fireballs to take that tower out. And he is going to try desperately to defend this left-hand tower, guys. He's going to go ahead and use the Spear Goblin Hut as well as the Barbarian Hut to try and protect it. Now here's the thing, guys. If you're facing somebody that has a fireball in their deck, and your tower is all the way down to 130 health, you can't protect it. You have to assume that they're going to take that tower out with the fireball. And you have to try and just keep the pressure on. And basically wait for them to use the 4 elixir to damage your tower, and then punish them for using that elixir to damage your tower. But as you can see, we did get the 1 crown victory, guys. Let's go ahead to the next replay here. So here we are, guys, with the next replay. This time we're only facing a level 7, so there's only a 2 level difference here. But right at the start, I do have the bomb tower in my starting hand. So I'm going to go ahead and place that down because it is the last defense that lasts a decent amount of time. So that's one of the defenses that you can use proactively. But one thing I want to hear from you guys is to whether or not these strategy videos help you out. I got a ton of requests to do a video on how to get to Arena 6. So that's why I put this video together for you guys. So please feel free to let me know if it works for you. But right here, he kind of waits to make his first play, which allows me to build up an elixir advantage, which is pretty cool because it helps level the playing field considering he is a level 7 here. So we're going to be pretty aggressive here with these goblins as well as the Hog Rider. And he does a pretty decent job defending with that knight as well as those arrows. But we do get some damage done to his tower. We bring it all the way down to 1700 health. And right here, I use the minion horde to defend. Now notice how I use the minion horde behind my tower instead of on top of his troops. And the reason I did that, guys, is because the minion horde takes a second or two to spawn. And if you drop your minion horde right on top of the enemy troops, pretty much they'll all die by the time they activate. So you have to drop them out of the way a little bit and give them the time to spawn so they can properly defend themselves. But right here, just gonna wait a quick second before we get to 10 elixir again, before we make another play. It's never really a good idea, guys, to play yourself always down to 0 elixir. Try and play it safe for the most part. Only really make plays when you're over like 6 or so elixir. So as you can see, he's coming in with the P.E.K.K.A. as well as the Witch. I'm gonna make a super aggressive counter push here on the left-hand side with that Hog Rider as well as the Goblins. Now, like I said in my last video, using this strategy here, you have to pick and choose when you go in with the Hog Rider. The reason that I went in with the Hog Rider right there is because I knew that my bomb tower would be able to defend against his push there, because the bomb tower would be able to take care of his Witch, and then after that Witch was dead, I could use some cheap troops to distract his P.E.K.K.A., and I knew that he would be forced to use Elixir to defend his left-hand tower instead of supporting his push on the right-hand side. So that's why this strategy, guys, it's super important to know when to do your push and when you have the elixir and the cards available to defend whatever's coming at you. But right here, he's coming once again with the P.E.K.K.A. as well as the Witch strategy. And like I said, I do have that bomb tower out. The bomb tower pretty much will be able to take care of that Witch. And I'm going to go ahead and use the Fireball there, take care of those archers as well as damage that Witch. Because at this point in the battle, guys, there's 30 seconds left and I do have a 1 crown victory. Both of my towers are at full health, so I kind of just have to play defense here. Now the P.E.K.K.A. does get to my tower, unfortunately, but watch this, he gets 1 hit off, and then I use those goblins to distract him. And if a P.E.K.K.A. is on your tower, guys, you can go ahead and use some cheap troops and drop them right on top of the P.E.K.K.A. And if you do it properly, the troops will actually push the P.E.K.K.A. back and force him to retarget. So that's what I did right there, and with 8 seconds left, he's got no chance of coming back here, as we have a second bomb tower out. So that will give us the 1 crown victory here, guys. Anyways, let's go ahead and try and fit in a live battle here. So before we go to the battle, guys, I just want to quickly show off my battle log here to show off how good this deck is. So I've got a bunch of victories here, then I have 1 loss, and then a bunch more victories, and then I have a draw, and then some more victories. All of this, guys, is as a level 5 facing level 7s and 8s. So let's go ahead and do a battle here, and hopefully I don't screw it up and make this deck look bad. But here we go. We're facing a level 7 here. We do have the bomb tower in our starting hand, so that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and place that down right in the middle there. And see what his play is here. He drops down the elixir pump, which is kind of unfortunate because my Hog Rider will probably go to that first. So whatever he plays next, we're going to use some Spear Goblins on the right-hand side here and start setting up a push with the Hog Rider on the right. So once those Spear Goblins make their way up front, we're going to go ahead with the Hog Rider. And then hopefully use these... That's a pretty good counter to us, guys, with the Baby Dragon and the Musketeer. We're going to go ahead and Fireball all of this here in just a second. And then use the Valkyrie back here. Now, since the Dragon is targeting the Valkyrie, we can use the Goblins to take care of that Hog Rider. So he did a pretty significant amount of damage there, guys, so this is not a good opening at all. But he's got that Musketeer marching back up front. We're going to go ahead and place down the Bomb Tower once again. And there we go. Take it out there. Baby Dragon is dead. Didn't take any damage into our tower there, so that's pretty cool. And then once we have an opening here, we're going to go ahead with the Hog Rider. Now, I haven't really seen him use any spells yet, so he probably has arrows or Fireball in his deck. So we're going to go ahead with the Hog Rider here, as well as a Minion Horde, and be super aggressive and see how he responds. We're going to zap all these skeletons. He does have the arrows, unfortunately. But he did invest a decent amount of elixir defending there, so it wasn't too bad. We were able to take care of that elixir pump as well, so that means he doesn't get as much elixir back from that pump. So we're trying to wait a quick second here, start building up that elixir again before we go ahead and place down that bomb tower. He's going to go ahead with... I'm going to go ahead and Fireball all this here, and hopefully take care of that bomber. And unfortunately, I was a half a second too early, and I missed that bomber. So that was it was a pretty bad fireball there. It was not like that at all. Now, unfortunately, one of those skeletons is going to get through and damage my tower. But my tower should take care of that baby dragon pretty quickly here. And then we're going to go on the left-hand side here with a push with this. And of course, he was predicting that, so he dropped on the electric pump. But that wasn't too bad because it forced him to use some troops on the left-hand side to defend. And we were also able to take care of that electric pump. I'm going to go ahead and use the Valkyrie here. Now, one thing you guys might want to try out when you're trying out this deck is try throwing in the Musketeer as well. Because she'll be a good counter for the baby dragon. So if you're facing a bunch of baby dragons, go ahead, like I said, and play down the Musketeer instead. So right here, he had to use the arrows on the left-hand side there, so we're going to be doing some damage with the Hog Rider on the left. And unfortunately, he has the baby dragon once again on the right. We're going to use the bomb tower to defend here. And then the Valkyrie here. Now he does have that rage bow, which is pretty good because I don't have anything that's a decent counter to the baby dragon in my deck. But fortunately, we had the Valkyrie tanking there. So here we go. He's going to go in with this. I'm going to use the Hog Rider on the left here with some goblins. And then the bomb tower here to defend. Zap spell comes up. We're going to zap all those skeletons. And then hopefully do some damage to that tower. We're going to fireball it and just go all in here. The fireball will take it out and give us the 1 crown victory, guys. So there you go, another victory over a level 7. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.